wigs. The oil I saw, I was even glad that, oh okay, I saw this oil. But guys, the oil is not, it's even making my skin dry. Product is expensive here, guys, freaking expensive. Sure that they can pay the PTA to a card. Please grab it. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are an old subscriber, thank you for always coming back, and thank you for always sticking around here. My name is Oluwabusayomi A. I film content from Ontario, Canada, and I film content around faith, lifestyle, and finance here in Canada. I'm a new immigrant and I recently relocated to Canada as a permanent resident. I also film my journey as a new immigrant here in Ontario, Canada. So if this is the video you want to watch or you like to see, please stick around. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that red button below and subscribe. And if you're an old one, if you're an old subscriber, thank you for always coming. In today's video, I'm going to be listing out some things that you need to bring with you when you're coming from your own country to Canada, where you're coming from Nigeria, where you're coming from Ghana, where you're coming from South Africa, just anywhere in the world. And when you are like relocating to Canada or UK or US or Australia or any other part of the world. So these are like the basic things that you need to consider taking along with you, depending on where you are relocating to. But this would just be like the things that I brought with me from Nigeria to Canada. Okay, so if this is the video you want to watch, please do well to stick around and let's enjoy the video together. All right, just to let you know that you have 23 kg each per person. You are like allowed to carry to check in 23 kg each per person, and for the hand luggage you have access to 8 kg for the hand luggage. So the way we did ours, we checked in both the 23 kg, the 23 kg per person, and we also checked in our hand luggage. So the only thing that we traveled with was our laptop bag, right? Just to ease our stress basically. But other people can actually, you can take your 8 kg hand luggage with you if you are fine with that, and you can also check it in. Then secondly, I would like to point out that just please, because of what happened to us, just please, when you are taking your, when you are like arranging your stuffs, make sure you split it in every bag that you have. So for example, your clothing, on your underwears, your clothing, make sure you split it in every bag that you have, just in case you have a missing luggage. You can always have access to like some of the stuffs and you are not like totally stranded, because that's what happened to us. We had one missing luggage, and that's where like we kept all our clothes and undies and everything. It was missing for like 2 weeks. So I'm sure you guys don't want to even imagine what would have happened during that time. So please make sure that you split your luggage in each bag that you have, even in your backpack. Yes. And the last thing that I want to tell you guys is that make sure your documents that you'll be taking with you are well packed with you in your hand luggage, not your check-in luggage now. So if you know that you're going to be checking in your hand luggage, make sure your document is in your handbag. Yes, because once you check in your luggage at the airport, so in our case now is the Muritala Mohammed Airport in Lagos, once you check it in there, the next time you are going to see those luggage will be when you land at your final destination. So our own final destination here in this case now is Canada. In our case, we flew from Lagos to Paris, and we had a layover at Paris, and we had a layover in Paris, and then our final destination was Toronto, right? So in this case, we did not see our luggage, our check-in luggage in Paris. We only saw it when we finally landed in Toronto. So I just thought to like chip these things in so that you guys can like understand how it works, and so that you can know what you pack in your check-in luggage and what you pack in your luggage. And please pack, within the allocated kg per person. But in case you have excess luggage, I'm sure you'll still be able to know how to find your way around it, because we add excess luggage as well. And yeah, just when you get to the airport, you definitely know how to find your way around it. But to avoid unnecessary headaches, if some of the luggage that you're packing, like there's something that maybe you can always leave behind, someone else can bring for you maybe later on, you can please leave them behind. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into the details of the first on my list here, I have documents, right? So under your documents, you want to make sure that the first thing you're picking, you're coming with your Bible or your Quran, okay? And the second thing, you're coming with your passport. Please, you don't want to leave your house without taking your passport. It is very necessary. Then the third thing I have here on my list is you want to make sure that if you are driving in your home country, you want to come with your driver's license, or if you got like an extract from your home country, you want to come with that. In our own case, we came just with our driver's license. It was when we got to Canada that we applied for the extract at Ottawa. So what we did, we just sent our passport to Ottawa, and then we got our extract sent back to us here where we are currently. So you want to make sure that you bring your driver's license, because that way you can just go ahead and write the test and do the road test as well, and yeah, you are good to go. And yeah, for some people actually can use the driver's license to drive in Canada for like the first 6 months. I've heard of like people do that. They drive in, immediately they land in Canada, they can use their driver's license to drive for like 6 months. If they have access to car, they can use the drive for like 6 months before getting the Canadian driver's license. Okay, so the next on my list, I have the travel documents, which is your visa and your arrive can. You want to make sure that your arrive can and your visa and your passport, those three things are together, because they will start asking you for that even when you get Murtala Mohammed Airport, or whichever airport that you are going to fly from. Like, they're definitely going to ask you for those three documents. Like, very, very important: your passport, your arrive can, and your visa. So the arrive can is like a document that you have to fill that like like 48 to 24 hours before you land in Canada. So Canada have your details that you are landing on this particular day, so you need to fill that. It is very, very important. Okay, and if you are coming in through the school route, even if you are not coming in through the school route, you still need these documents. You need your credentials, you need your school certificates, you need your previous job offers and your pay stubs, and like anything relating to your previous work experience, and also your school history. You need all this, because when you're applying for job here in Canada, trust me, you need to upload some of these documents. And in the case that you don't have the documents with you, it's impossible for you to upload that. So you need to make sure that you come with these credentials. Very, very important. The next I have here, this is not a document, but it's also essential. You need to come with your power bank. So in my own case, I got this power bank, this Fit power bank, before I left Nigeria. So I got this, and it was very handy for me even when I had my layover. When you have a layover, you still have places for you to charge, but it was just very handy for me at that point. So you might need a power bank and 5W multi-purpose adapter. You can get this at any market in Nigeria. And in my own case, I had this um type C USB adapter for my iPhone. So this is like the type I have on my iPhone for my iPhone. And if you are on the plane, the type of the USB ports that they have, this is the type. So definitely this cannot fit into this. So I had to get this USB type C USB converter. So I put my charger there, and then I can just charge directly on the plane and even at Paris too. It was very useful for me, and this has actually been very useful for me. And you can also plug in this to like a normal charger, right? So you might want to consider getting this as well if you have a type C port for your charger. So that is that about that. And then we're moving on to clothing. So for your clothing type, you want to make sure that you have your long sleeves with you. Make sure you get a very thick long sleeve because you will definitely need that. You want to make sure that you have your hoodie, joggers, thick socks. Please get all those because the weather in Canada is very cold, like very cold. And also you want to make sure that you have your corporate wear for interview. So in the case that you because there are some people that actually do their interview online, like maybe on Zoom, Teams, or what other platform, and there are some people that actually go in person to the office to do their interviews. So you want to make sure that you have a corporate wear, even if it's just one or two of your corporate wears from Nigeria, or you want to just get new ones. Make sure that you have at least one or two corporate wears for interviews. Then make sure that you get jean. It is very important. Jean is like a go-to it's like a go-to wear here. Like everyone has a pair of jeans, so make sure you get some pairs for yourself. And also don't forget buy your undies, because undies here that I've seen so far is just kind of pricey, but I don't know if you are that type of person and you don't mind, sure, why not? And if you mind, please just make sure that you get some. I filmed that like part of my preparation videos, and I told you guys that you can get that at the co markets like wholesale price. So you also want to make sure that you have like few short sleeves, maybe for summer, light clothing as well for summer, because it's not cold like all year round, but just that it's cold like for most of the months in the year. It's cold, so you want to also make sure that you have like maybe few light clothing and few short sleeve as well, but make sure you have more of thick clothing. So for winter jacket, depends on the season you are coming actually, but if you are coming in fall, if you are coming in spring, fall and winter, you want to make sure that you have your winter jacket, because it can just be a bit cold for you. It depends on like how you can withstand cold. Some people, it might not be as cold as other people. Like for me, I have like zero tolerance for cold, so we came in during summer, like late summer, but I still bought winter jackets guys, but just that I didn't really get to like wear it like every other day. There are some days that the weather was like I think 22-25 degrees, and it was okay for me to just wear my short sleeve. And there are some days that the weather was like maybe 11, 12, 13 degrees, and I had to wear my winter jacket. So you might want to bring winter jackets, but if you are bringing a winter jacket, please don't bring more than one, because you can always get winter jackets here. And I feel the winter jacket that we have in Nigeria is not really so. Not all of them are like, some of them can still withstand some level of the code, but some might not, so you just want to check out the one you are buying. And also this one on my list is very, very important. You want to make sure that you bring your sneakers. It is very, 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 very important. Bring your sneakers, guys. Bring it, because the only time you might not really get to wear the sneakers will be during winter. You can still wear it. Well, I've not experienced spring, so I don't know how spring weather will be, but for fall and summer, sneakers is your go-to. Yes, so you want to make sure that you bring your sneakers. But during winter, you can't wear sneakers, so you have to get a winter boots, and you can always get that here. Okay, so for the next thing, I have the heels. Heels is actually not so necessary. It's not so important because I've been here like 3 months now, and I've not worn heels. So heels is not so important, but you can just consider getting that as well. You can just bring maybe one or two, but it's not so important. I think it will only be useful maybe during summer. Then you can also bring maybe one pair of sandal, one pair of slippers. You can wear that during summer as well. So for your handbags, I don't know, some people are like handbag freak. You can bring maybe 3, 4, but if you are not really like handbag freak, you can just bring two or three is okay. All right. So we're going to move on now to the body care slash hair care. Okay. So the first thing that you want to make sure that you bring is your cream, your oil, anti-dandruff, and your soap. You want to make sure that if you have a special cream that you use back home, please make sure that you bring them. Yes, bring them. In my own case, I use an anti-dandruff shampoo back home, and I know I won't, like, it's a Nigerian brand, so I know I won't really see it here. So I made sure that I packed like a lot of it with me, and also because of the weather, so I was just like anticipating like it's going to be really dry, and I didn't want like my scalp to be so dry, so I like packed a lot of anti-dandruff care with me. And also I brought in some oil. I use R&R luxury oil, but I was in Nigeria. So what I did, I just bought few with me. I wish I like bought more of it, because when I was almost running out of the oil, I went to one of the stores here in Canada to check for maybe like baobab oil, like shea butter oil, and I didn't see the oil I saw. I was even glad that, oh, okay, I saw this oil, but guys, the oil is not, it's even making my skin dry, so I hardly even use that. So I've been using more of cream and like other things that I could like substitute for that. So make sure that you bring your cream, oil, anti-dandruff, and soap. Then the second one, you want to make sure that you bring your pad. Pad is not so expensive here. I've checked, like you can even get it at the dollar store. It's not so expensive here, but at least you want to make sure that you are covered for like the next 4, 5, 6 months. So you can always bring your pad, because it's just once that you use it. You just use like is once in a month that you have it. So you want to make sure that you bring your pad with you. Then for your cosmetic, you want to make sure that you bring your foundation, your powder, your lip gloss, eyebrow pencil, and other things. So if you're not a makeup person, just bring few things. But if you're a makeup person or you're a makeup artist, you want to make sure that you bring your product, because makeup product is expensive here, guys. Freaking expensive. So going on to the next, I have wigs, guys. Wigs. Guys, you want to make sure that you bring your wigs. Don't leave anyone behind. Do not leave your wig behind, guys. I'm going to share like a very quick story. So I have like a salon just close to my house. I went there recently. I wanted to make like all back for my wig, and okay, so when I got there, the lady was like, oh, okay, that they can't, like, they needed to see like they were asking me what length was my hair, so they were like using their hair length to compare like to Asked if my hair length was that long, and I was like, no, my hair length is not that long, obviously. But I just told them that it's like it's a natural hair and it's just like 8 inch or 10 inch, I don't know, long, 8 inches or 10 inches long. And when she told me to like remove my head warmer so she could like feel the texture, immediately I removed it. She was like, oh no, that they can't make my hair because they are just skeptical that number one, they can't even make all back, and secondly, they can't do anything to my hair so they don't damage my hair, because my hair is like, our hair is strong, and you can't compare it to like their hair here, right? So in that case, what I've been doing, guys, I've been making my hair myself. What I can do, I have been doing that. But what I've just been using to cover my shame is my wig. So you want to make sure that you bring your wigs, don't leave them behind, because making hair and buying wigs or buying hair over here is very, very expensive. So you want to make sure that you bring everything that you have with you. So for the guys, you want to make sure that you bring your clipper. You might eventually have to like trim your hair yourself as well, and maybe if you have like a friend that can help you to just trim your hair, so you want to make sure that you bring your clipper. Then for your hair brush, you want to make sure that you bring your hair brush and your afro comb. Afro comb is very, very scarce here. You'll see wig brush like everywhere that you like, every store you see wig brush, but hair brush, like the normal hair brush that we use in Nigeria, and afro comb is very, very scarce. So you want to make sure that you bring yours as well. So for the attachments, you want to make sure that you bring your attachments. You want to make sure that you bring your crochet pin, and also you want to make sure that you bring your moisturizers. Very, very important. That moisturizer is very, 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 very important. Okay, so we're moving on now to medications. For the medications, we might not really, because even the medications that were brought, we don't even really use it. The one I've been using most is the paracetamol. So you want to just make sure that you reduce the medication that you bring. Anti-malaria, you might just bring one or not really, because I've not had malaria since like we got here. But you want to make sure that you bring paracetamol as well. Antibiotics, so you might just bring maybe one or two. Then for catarrh and cough, come with like enough drug, because that's like the most common. You get to have catarrh and cough like easily, so you want to make sure that you come with enough drugs for that. You want to make sure that you come with rub as well. You want to make sure that you come with Vicks, and you want to make sure that you come with Aboniki. You can just come with a few of those. Then please, very, very important again, if you can get peppermint oil, it is very important. You want to make sure that you come with that. That oil is very, very good for winter and fall. Okay, so moving on to food items. The first thing you want to make sure that you do not come with is milk. Milk is not allowed, and for milk it is very expensive here. When I did my grocery haul, I showed you guys the type of milk that you can see here. It's totally different from what we are used to back home. So getting milk here, it is very, very scarce and very, very expensive. So I don't know how to solve that issue, guys. But you just have to like try to manage or like get used to what you see here. So going to the next one, you can bring dried fish. Please make sure that you bring dried fish, guys, because dried fish is expensive here and it's scarce as well. So you want to make sure that you bring dried fish. You want to make sure that you bring your gari, very essential. It is for gari here, guys, very essential. You want to make sure that you bring your egusi. You want to make sure that you bring your maggi. So don't bring no chicken, guys, just bring the original no. You want to make sure that you bring your elubo. You want to make sure that you bring your pap, guys. I don't think you'll see pap here. I've not seen, so I don't think you'll see. But if I see, I'll let you guys know. I'm sure it's very expensive, so you want to make sure that you bring yours. You want to make sure that you bring dried F4 as well. Yeah, you see spinach here and other vegetable, but if you don't mind bringing yours, you can still bring your dried F4 For vegetable oil, you see here, but you can still bring as well. For palm oil, you see here, but you can still bring as well. For locust beans, you have to bring. I don't know if you see here. I've not seen. For plain and sweet beans, the taste is just a bit different from what I used to back home, but you definitely see here. But if you want to bring fine, for Indomie, you see here. But if you want to bring fine, but don't bring the Indomie chicken. So you want to make sure that you bring your pepper soup spice as well, because it can be very cold here. I'm sure you get pepper soup spice at the African store, but you can also bring yours as well, because definitely it will be pricey. Anything that you can get here is still going to be like pricey, but if you know that you still have that space in your luggage to chook all these things, why not just bring them? So you want to also make sure that you bring your semo, your pounded, your plantain flour, your anything, your oats, oatmeal, your cocoa powder, your anything, just bring them. Okay, but just make sure that you're not bringing dairy or agricultural products, right? And then for the last one here that I have on my list, I have funds. So for funds, you want to make sure that you come with enough cash to be able to carry you maybe for the week or for the month. And you want to also make sure that you come with your debit card. So for the PTA, if you have a bank that is giving you an option that they can pay the PTA to a card, please grab it. Guys, please grab it, okay? Because it's going to be very, 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 very useful for you here. That's what we used for like 2 months that we got here for all our expenses, our shopping and all. That is what we use, even to pay for food stuff, for groceries at the store. That's what we used as well. So if you have a bank that is giving you an option to pay your PTS, your debit card, please grab it, okay? And come with enough cash to be able to last you. All right, so I think this is going to be the end of this video, and I'm sure I've been able to convince you and confuse you, okay? And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to smash that red button below by subscribing. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment and share to your family and your loved ones. And if you still have any other thing that you think that you brought to Canada and I've not, like I didn't list it here, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. Okay, until I see you in my next video, stay cool. Bye.